boys and girls. Welcome to Friday Story Time with Miss Jodi. Today we'll have our last 3 stories of the miracles of Jesus. I hope you've enjoyed these as much as I have. This book by Tommy DePola is so wonderful because it just tells you just the story very quickly with very few words, but the pictures are just gorgeous. I just love it. Well, today our last 3 stories. First, Jesus will heal the lepers. Then, the daughter of Jairus, which is another healing miracle. Jairus' daughter cannot get up, and she's very sick. And then, one of my favorites, the raising of Lazarus. Lazarus is just dead, and they call Jesus in, and Jesus says, "Lazarus, get up." And he does. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the last 3 stories.
Jesus heals the lepers. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus passed along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers came out to meet him. They stood some way off and cried to Jesus, "Master, have mercy on us." When Jesus saw them, he said, "Go and show yourself to the priests." And as they went, they found themselves cleansed. Then one of them, seeing himself healed, turned back. Praising God with a loud voice, he threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. Now the man was a Samaritan. At this Jesus said, "Were not all 10 made clean? Where are the other 9? Could no one be found to return to give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then Jesus said to the man, "Rise and go your way. Your faith has cured you." The daughter of Jairus. When Jesus was speaking, an official of his synagogue named Jairus came to him. He begged Jesus to return with him to his house, for his only daughter, who was about 12 years of age, was dying. As Jesus went, crowds of people pressed against him. A woman who had suffered from the flow of blood for 12 years came up behind him and touched the hem of the garment. Immediately, the flow of blood ceased. Jesus said, "Who touched me?" When everyone denied it, the disciples said, "Master, it was the crowd pressing against you." But Jesus said, "Someone touched me. I felt that power had gone out from me." Seeing herself discovered, the woman came forward, trembling, and fell at Jesus' feet. Before all the people, she declared why she had touched Jesus and how she had been immediately healed. And Jesus said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace." When he was still speaking, a man from Jairus' house came and said, "Your daughter is dead. Do not trouble the master any further." But when he heard this, Jesus said, "Do not be afraid. Only have faith that she shall be well." And when they came to the house, Jesus allowed no one to go in with him except Peter and John and James and the child's father and mother. All were weeping and mourning for her. But Jesus said, "Do not weep. She is not dead. She is asleep." And the people only laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. Jesus took her by the hand and said, "Child, arise." And her spirit returned, and she got up at once. Then Jesus told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were amazed, but Jesus ordered them not to tell anyone what had happened. The raising of Lazarus. When Lazarus, the brother of Mary and Martha, died, Jesus came to them. Martha went out to meet him while Mary sat in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "If you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, whatever you ask of God, he will grant you." "Your brother," said Jesus, "will rise again." "I know he will rise again," said Martha, "at the resurrection on the last day." Then Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. If anyone believes in me, even though he dies, he will live. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" "Yes, Lord," she said. "I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world." When she had said this, Martha went and called her sister Mary. "The Master is here," she said, "and wants to see you." Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where he met Martha. So Mary rose up quickly and went to him. The Jews who were in the house mourning Lazarus' death saw Mary rush out, and thinking that she was going to the tomb to weep, followed her. Mary went to where Jesus was and fell at his feet weeping. "Lord," she said, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had followed her weeping also, he said in a great distress, with a sigh that came straight from his heart, "Where have you laid him?" The people said, "Come and see, Lord." And Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved Lazarus?" But others said, "Could not this man, who has opened the eyes of the blind, have done something to keep Lazarus from dying?" When Jesus reached the tomb, which was a cave with a stone to close the opening, he said, "Take away the stone." "But Lord," said Martha, "by now he will smell. This is the 4th day." Jesus answered, "Have I not told you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Jesus lifted his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you for hearing my prayer." Then he raised his voice and called out, "Lazarus, come forth!" The dead man came out. His hands and feet were bound in linen bands. His face was wrapped in cloth. And Jesus said, "Unbind him and let him go."
Well, this has been a really fun cycle of stories to do with you guys. I have enjoyed every one of these, enjoyed reading them to you. I love looking at the pictures, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. This is the beginning of Lent, and so we will, the next 6 weeks or so, we will have a lot of stories about Lent leading up into Easter. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Bye-bye.